Alright guys, Supreme Kami here. So Rubilla should be coming out fairly soon. By the time I'm recording this, maybe it is already out. But Rubilla will be the last character before we hop over to the 3.0 stuff. In terms of Rubilla herself, she's gonna be a very good support for the Vault team. But I would definitely have to say her investment is quite expensive, so be prepared for that. So if you guys are like my free to play players or people that are not able to spend a whole lot of money into maxing her out, yeah, that will be a problem. But I will definitely have to say her Matrix C is definitely really good. It actually works really well for overall kid. So if you do want to go for like just want to summon for her, get her one copy, get her 4 set matrix, and that's it. Her simulacrum trait is actually quite good as well for triple volts. That is also something to consider about. Like I said again, Rebelli is mainly a support type character, even though she's a DPS. So she does more or less like a burst damage type character right there, which we'll talk about why that's that. But there's 3 important things to note about Rubellia's overall character. First of all, you have your discharge. Discharge does a multitude of things. It increases raw attack damage. It also generates those crystal max thorns. It also generates or it gives you the feedback counter. Up next, we have the dodge attacks. So the dodge attack is gonna be something that triggers or it uses the feedback counter, so it's also very important. And lastly, the skill. The skill is where it's going to be able to do a whole ton of burst damage. You guys will see that. I'll give you guys a good demonstration in just a little bit of how all those 3 things kind of interact with each other. Because in terms of those crystal max thorns, at max HP they do a lot of damage when you guys are using a skill. But if you're not using it at if when you use the skill and the crystal max thorns are not max HP, it does very little damage, which I'll give you just a quick demonstration of how little it does. But now let's kind of hop over to a quick parse, just kind of show you guys the overall rotation of what I use. Alright, so here's going to be a quick parse in terms of the overall setup. I use Fiona, Fenrir, and then Rebellion, obviously. So everything in this testing right here is completely maxed already because this is done under the test server. But you guys can see that the rotation is fairly simple. So we are going to go ahead and dodge or use a discharge so we can generate all those crystal max. And you guys can see that all those crystal max HP drains once you use a skill, so it is highly advised that you guys do use it when it's 4 HP dodge attack. And then I will go back into Fiona, start my rotation with Fenrir once again, just like that. And then we should be discharging fairly soon after I do a few more attacks with what is it, Fenrir. And then yep, back at it again using the skill dodge attack. Right, so now they're back to max HP. That is very important because the HP does matter when when it does damage. It's crazy. She's just able to generate so much damage from that. But overall, that is the rotation. I don't think it's anything that's difficult. The only thing that you do have to kind of pay attention to, you do have to kind of land the discharge for Rebellion to get her additional damage per bolt. That's the main thing. So it's fairly similar to Fiona. You have to land it before it gives you the attack boost. So other than that, that's pretty much it. So we are going to be finishing things off at 1 minute and 30 seconds. So you get to see that very great damage right there. Alright, so now let's talk about the advancement. So honestly, the advancement for Rubilla is kind of expensive. I'll have to say the 1-star advancement, after you trigger the feedback, you do get some good damage out of it. But I would say, typically in a parse, I want to say roughly about 12 to 15% increase from, base A0 to A1. So not a whole lot. If you guys do, as a free to play, you do want to get to that 1-star, it's definitely acceptable. But at the same time, it's not really. I'd rather you guys focus your resources onto the Matrix C, which we'll talk about in a little bit. The 3-star advancement is only going to be good if you are starting out a new fight or like a new battle, whatnot, because that pretty much allows you to place those crystal max thorn a little bit earlier. But at the same time, in like a longer fight, that's not going to be really relevant. So 3-star investment is kind of pretty sad. I won't even lie. 5 star and 6 star investment is where the whole you spending a lot really makes it worth it, because in terms of the regeneration of the crystal max HP, you do get up to 15% or 50% per every dodge now. So it's actually pretty good, because usually it used to be 25%. So you're pretty much allowing yourself to consistently get that max out damage from the skill attack, so that's great. So that's where the 5 star investment is really important. And last but not least, the 6 star investment is obviously really good, because on top of the original 7% you get from using the discharge, you get an additional 12% for 30 seconds. So that's pretty good. But like I said again, 5 star and 6 star investment are probably for the people that can spend a good amount of money into the game, right? So for my free to play or even like moderate spender, that's that's not gonna be really appropriate to kind of look at. In terms of the matrices, I feel like if you guys are not summoning for the 4P set, you guys are definitely cheating yourself, because in terms of the crystal max door limit, now it's up to 6. So I do highly suggest you guys to go for that, because one additional crystal max door would probably allow you to hit more of the skill attack. So it's highly advised to go for that. In terms of the other stuff, the 2 set piece, pretty good. In terms of what it's increasing, not bad. For the 4P set, in terms of the damage increase, that's also good as well. But the only one that I was really into was definitely the crystal max thorn increase. Last but not least, we have the trait. So how good is the trait? The trait is only good if you are running triple volt team, because it does increase 8% per every volt weapon. So if you're not running like a full triple volt, you're not gonna be getting that top tier 24% increase. So if you guys are using, let's say, what is it, Fiona, still use a trade, because it's still a lot more better than this one. But other than that, this one would only be good for triple vaults. Alright, so in conclusion, Rubilla is definitely a very great supporting character for the Volt team, and in terms of investment, it's definitely really high. But in terms of what it's doing already, like the base kit, it should be sufficient enough already. And like I suggest, going for 1 copy of the character and 4 set of the Matrix C is definitely the way to go. Anything higher than that, you do have to make it all the way to 5 or 6 star in order to be really beneficial. But other than that, do let me know how you guys feel about Rubilla character. So are you guys gonna be summoning for her? And then if you guys are, let me know how far are you guys gonna go for her. But other than that, that's it for me, and I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.